and you're tuned in to Rip Radio Network, which can mean one and only thing, that we're now slightly back on time.
Yeah,
It was really fast.
Quick, very, very quick. Yeah, we're not moving it. Oh, no, now we're behind again.
No, we're behind. All right, welcome to Chip Chat.
Yeah, what's popping?
I'm Chip. Who are you, Tez?
I'm Tez. You said it right there.
That's true. We're back. We were off for a week.
Yeah, it was a good week.
Nothing happened.
At all.
It was a great week to not have radio because nothing happened. And at no point during that week did I go, man, I can't wait. Did you have any of that experience?
No.
I think you even texted me like, I can't wait to talk about it. And I was like, no, we're not on this week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now we're here. And,
we are here.
You know, things have happened.
Many things have happened. We have a special guest today.
Yes, we do.
Priest Da Nomad is here. Now, if you are into local DC hip-hop, you definitely know who that is.
Yes.
If you are not into local DC hip-hop, you probably also know who that is.
Right. Yeah.
He's pretty famous. Way too famous to be
multiple
on our show.
multiple channels, and it's yes to the latter point there.
He gets to hang out with like M and those guys over at XM. I heard
this is not AM or.
We're better than them. We're worldwide. XM only works in America. It's true. Their satellites are only hovering over this part of the world, but the internet goes all the way around
the world,
except to Russia.
Which is a problem. Which is a problem.
It is for us in particular because I wanted to bring up some statistics that I was researching on the way up. Which, not that you're supposed to do that while you're driving.
I was going to say, do you get chauffeured here now?
No.
Okay. It's not safe. Don't do that at home.
Our second country with the most listens in the last 12 months. Does anybody want to guess what that was? Brian? Brian knows. Brian's going to check.
I will say...
He's guessing.
I'm thinking. I'll say the Ukraine.
No, and it's not the Ukraine. It's just Ukraine. They don't like that the. We had a whole conversation about that. You were here for it. What?
I'm sorry. That's funny. Yeah, because he just said it.
He was like the. Hashtag the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love how the insert group here likes whatever.
Already, here we are off the rails.
So what's the answer?
I would assume it was the aforementioned Russia.
It is. It's Russia. Obviously, why else would I bring it up?
Bring it up, yeah.
Which, as remember, we more or less determined that in the run-up to the election and maybe just afterwards.
Someone just had it was
some poor KGB intern was assigned to listen to our show, listening for divisive content that they could then hopefully amplify through their fake news channels and, cause chaos in America. And then they got bored with that and decided to invade Ukraine, which is a country next to Russia. It's huge, by the way. People have no idea how big Ukraine is. It's like the size of Texas.
Another reason it's difficult
to invade a country?
Again, no-fly zones.
Maybe we should practice a no-fly zone over Texas.
Oh, Lord.
And if we can manage that, then, we can't manage a wall in Texas. We're going to talk about that tonight.
I think, you know what I would bet on? That the good folks in Texas have, surface-to-air type weaponry.
They very much do.
So I don't know if it would work there.
In case the government's coming to get it.
In case the government puts a no-fly zone over Texas.
That's right.
Here you talk that
Except
shit.
They got
Lord, exactly.
Those DC liberals are after us again.
Our fears were right. I'm not advocating for no-flies anywhere.
No, I think Texas anti-aircraft weaponry is Chile-based. It's probably very effective, but from what I understand, it's Chile-based.
Shoot it out the ass.
Yeah. What? Governor Abbott's just going to roll up to it.
Oh, no. Stop.
Hit the trigger. Okay.
We got it. Yeah, we did.
We also have an update from
6 minutes in and you've offended many people.
Texas?
Oh, no. No, never mind. Moving on.
Speaking of Texas, apparently they think rape is fine. Or no, that's Michigan.
No.
We have that too in Michigan. Yeah, they voted for this guy who was like, well, you just lay down and enjoy it. Why not?
Oh, not that guy.
That guy. His name is Reagan, but not that
Not that Reagan.
But it's still Reagan. Because, I'm sure the other Reagan was said that a lot.
Once you get that last name,
You're pretty
I'm trying
much
to think of good Reagan.
good Reagan. I don't know. His son, Ron, he's
middle of the road.
yeah,
We haven't heard anything yet.
right. He's like a devout atheist and enough to buy ads on TV to talk about that. So that's pretty good.
Harmless.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
All right. We do have a check-in from our friend Reese, who we talked to before we went off the air, who successfully did manage to get to the war zone and get the help and assistance and aid to the people that they were working with. He is back home. We know that whole operation went relatively smoothly and most importantly, safely. That's the operative part there. We do want to talk also about some other stuff. We got some J6 stuff. Got to have some J6.
Always.
And we finally have...
There's not been an episode mixed. There's been a missed episode.
I mean, why not?
Jake,
I don't blame. No, they tried to unmake the country. We should definitely keep talking about that for as long as...
Until they all go to prison.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But at least they don't have to worry about getting lynched, because now that's finally illegal.
Was it 1 cent? Was it
100 years?
Yeah, there we go.
100 years.
You clap for that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we can clap for that. It was Rand Paul.
It was Rand. Of course, it was Rand Paul.
We will talk about that. Yeah, I know. Tim Scott was like, "Yo, come on, Rand." Why is his name Rand?
We don't make Rands anymore, do we?
No, we know why.
Yeah.
Named after the writer who was escaped from Russia, Ayn Rand.
Look at
how that goes around.
All right. That's a circle for you.
We got all kinds of stuff. You got a word?
Not really.
I didn't even come up with one. I mean, I know what word I could use. I got a word. It's not going to be pretty or palatable or decent.
Wow. Oh, that's where we're going with this?
No, I don't know. It's just all I could think of. It's not going to be a product placement thing. It's just an idea.
There's words everywhere, actually. All right, I got a word.
I have a word that I'm not proud of, but I'm going to use today. Okay?
Got it. I got a word.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. So sit back, grab some
episodes.
It's Condoleezza Rice time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Ripped Radio Network.
Sweeps.
Told you. Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I am your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
All right, so let's talk about Ukraine. We got to get some updates. Like we mentioned, a friend of the show, Reese, he managed to get the aid and assistance that he was transporting by various means, which we won't get into, to the people that he was trying to connect with there. He is safe. The people received the help. We hope that they remain safe. It's a big deal. The situation there has gotten worse, if that was even a possibility. There are cities that are completely surrounded, including Mariupol, which is the site of probably the worst thing that we've heard so far in the war. So listener discretion advised, ... The Russians bombed a maternity and children's hospital because that's what they do. And then they lied about it and were like,
they said it was
there were no people or children there.
Actors.
They were using it for military purposes. And if you see any dead babies, those are actors. So now, I don't know what union,
right? Exactly. It's
I don't know what union scale is for dead baby actors these days. That's a SAG issue or not. But like, you know, where are you finding those actors, Russia?
High paid.
They gotta be, you know, because they age out, right? You know, you can only be a dead baby for so long, and then you become a dead toddler. It's a tougher gig to get. It's more competition.
There we go. I don't even know where
Do they have like labor laws, like how many hours the dead baby can work as an actor? in Russia.
Needless to say that there is, again...
These fucking animals
move us off of
bombed a maternity hospital.
Yeah, and that is real, and
we're out here talking about like, well, I don't know how we can get NATO involved but not get involved. They're bombing children.
But again...
Pregnant women and children.
All right, and again, I think this will probably be an unpopular opinion on me. I think, right, it goes without saying that the human suffering is hard for folks to digest, right? Like, again, people see that, like, when someone bombs a hospital full of pregnant women, just right, there's no cut cards around that. That's heinous. That's
Shout
heinous.
out to No Cut Cards on Plugged In Radio, by the way.
That's a damn. I don't mean to tie you that way to what we're talking about.
I love that, though.
Right.
Get that clip. I'm going to send it to Steve. He's going to love that.
Right. But even on, like, it might eventually get to a point where NATO is involved, right? But I think, again, there is a way to maneuver around this and about this. And when feelings get involved, I'm glad that, again, the folks, like, just the populace is not in control of it, right? Because, again, when feelings are involved, I hear a lot of it. It's like, yo, well, we're the United States. We have all this power. NATO has this power. Why are we not using this power?
Those are all legitimate arguments. But right, the obvious answer is because nuclear war.
And it starts there. And I know, like, that's huge. And my question also is, let's just say, right, no-fly zone is something that's very popular. You hear a lot of people talking. I think it's popular when people don't know what the fuck is going on.
No-fly zones are pointless. The Russians aren't flying any aircraft.
Yeah. And
the few of them that they have tried to fly, the Ukrainians have downed.
Yeah, they've downed them.
They've shot down a bunch of helicopters with a bunch of the Stingers and things that we gave them. The Ukrainians, I'm not making this up. There was a Russian aircraft that was downed by a woman and a pickle jar. That's true. The Russians were flying a drone that was about to like blow up something or whatever, and a 60-year-old lady on her balcony hucked a jar of pickled tomatoes at it, hit it, knocked it out of the sky, and it blew up on the ground.
This is have not seen this, so I cannot confirm it.
So now that Major League Baseball is back, get that lady a contract.
Jesus Christ.
Give that fan a contract.
I just think, I know that watching the suffering is difficult again for folks, and it's difficult for me as well. What Russia's doing, obviously, again, is heinous. I just think there is a way that we probably should go about this. I think the way that we are going about this has never been seen before. Like, the sanctions, you've never seen it before.
The sanctions have been remarkably effective.
And that's going to even take longer for it to really, really kind of play, right? The sanctions, while they can have somewhat of an immediate effect, right, that's a 6-month to 8-month thing, really, which this is going to be long. And I think, right, it is
going to be long, kind of no way around
this, right?
Even if NATO and the whole world got involved and was like, yo, this is unsustainable. Like, it's not that the Russians are not going to back down from this. They've walked too far over the...
And there's some bad intelligence, obviously, that must have went around to Vladimir Putin to make this miscalculation.
I don't think it was bad intelligence.
I think it seems like a bad bet all around.
It was a bad bet. I think that nobody could tell him the truth. I mean, this is the problem with these autocrats and stuff. Yeah. It's like, if you're the intelligence officer who has figured out that dear leader's plan ain't that great, do you want to be the one to tell him? He already makes you sit at the end of a 20-foot-long table because he didn't want you near because he thinks you're going to blow him up or give him COVID or God knows what. The guy's a nutcase. The problem is that the mechanisms that we have to deal with war, conflict amongst nations and all that, whether it's sanctions or whether it's even rolling tanks and doing all this stuff, is predicated on the rational actor theory. And we may not be in that territory right now.
I think, but as I've seen from minds who have studied this for years, when we talk about rational actors, I think sometimes we think about individuals, but that is also too more so something of a state, like the state as the rational actor. And I think that's, from what I've seen from people, is like making sure we don't get confused. Like, right, all right, do we think that Vladimir Putin is going to go ahead and do something drastic at a point where
he might,
he
but he can't execute it without the help of a lot of people. I understand that.
And the way this is going so far, how does I know that he tries to drop a nuclear weapon? Let's just use the worst one.
Missile even fires.
It fires and it blows up a bunch of Russians.
Right. This is the thing that what we are talking about is that the vaunted Russian army that we've all been so worried about has basically existed through the fear of its involvement, but never actually gotten involved against a credible fight. They poked around in Syria or whatever. They're facing off against a bunch of people who really have no business fighting in a war. Now they're going up against people who are motivated, very angry, and well-equipped with American weapons. It's a whole different ballgame, and it turns out they're not really all that capable. We kind of knew that, right? The people who knew any better knew that the Russians really don't have very, very much money. They don't have any fuel. They don't really have enough capacity to feed their people, let alone their army. Their command and control systems.
And they can't occupy you. They can't occupy
we're not
Ukraine
even at
for a
that
long.
point.
But
I mean, they're not even at the occupation point.
They wouldn't be able to do it.
They can't execute simple things like drive 3 or 4 miles in a day. Like, they can't do that, because they can't get them all to like shift their trucks into the same gear.
And that's why I think the method and the approach that has been taken by NATO, again, obviously, and even through the United States is, again, will arm you. I do think the Soviet-Afghan war I do think that's something that we can look at.
It's a bit of a model, right?
It's a bit of a model. It's not the same thing.
Wave after wave of Ukrainians at the Russians and let them be the ones to die.
That's the way that it's going to go. 2 million Afghans died in that.
Yes, that's right.
And that's what I'm saying. It's going to be long.
And we were somehow fine with that.
and Lord, we know whether it's Prince William.
We know why.
Well, we know if it's Prince William, whoever. It doesn't matter. If you're a local reporter out here. Doesn't matter. Again, and I get it. When white folks start fighting other white folks, the world gets upset.
How come when there's a war in Europe, it's a world war?
To me,
I mean, it's like, that's only one continent.
That's tribal, ethnic, what do you call it? Conflict. That's what it is.
That is an ethnic conflict.
It's tribal, ethnic conflict.
But they're within the same ethnic group. I can't understand what they're fighting about. I mean, they all should just get along. It seems like these borders are kind of unnecessary. Why did they just...
Russia gets
why
Ukraine,
can't they
Ukraine
just
gets
behave
Russia,
themselves?
Right? Who cares?
I mean, they all look the same to me. Right? Isn't that the... Oh, sorry, that was Rwanda. I got that wrong again.
There you go. Exactly. And again, but obviously, and not to even gloss over, like, us brown people over there right now, and I know everybody's popular thing is what they doing over there. That's not the point. They're there. They could be studying, whatever. They're in a war zone, and not only in a war zone.
We need to get them out. Everybody needs to get out.
Yo, get out.
Get out.
But again, we always... Racism trumps all. That's what it always trumps all.
Like, immediately it flared up, with the folks fleeing at the borders. But the Russian disinformation machine is so effective that my initial reaction to that was, this can't actually be happening. This is Russian fake news trying to get us to question whether this is really going on.
Nations of Africa came together. It was like, no. This is actually
happening. And then the reporters actually caught some of it on film. And you're like, and we're like, all right, this is happening. But then like 2 weeks later, somebody, somehow, the UN, I don't know, whatever, like put their thumb on Poland and Hungary and were like, don't you dare get caught doing this shit. Because we need the whole world together right now, and you are messing it up.
Yeah, and I do think, I mean, right, I'm pretty sure when Zelensky gets on one of those video calls, right, you got your meeting notes and you're going to hit your meeting notes, but like if that, like some of that stuff is happening in your country, I feel like as soon as the president, it's like, hey, you know what, we need all people to make sure that we're not violating any type of human right. And he's a very powerful person, obviously, and by him getting on that camera, they really like, I'm very interested on how he's been able to kind of...
I told you how this is going to happen.
Yeah, you did.
I am nominally a Jewish comedian who does, fake news, much like Zelensky. So it is pretty likely that we will end up president of some country. I don't know which country. No. One of those shithole countries.
Everything.
Florida.
There we go.
Yes, we will become president of Florida when we successfully sever it from the good country.
Which part?
I don't know which is the good country.
I don't know. The one underwater?
Yeah. I don't know. What part of Florida do you want? You can have half. I don't care.
It's a bad bet. I know they said...
I don't really want any part of it.
It's a bad bet. Look,
you want the Disney part? You can have the Disney bit.
I really want nothing of Florida.
No,
it's going to be underwater in 30 years.
Right. 30?
I'm being very
According
nice.
to the thing that you texted me last week that you were very worried about.
I'm like,
it's
we're talking
maybe
about all the wrong
10
shit, man.
He's like, yo, I know there's a war going on, but this climate change thing is really, really bad. And I'm like, I get that, but also like the war. And he's like, no.
Fuck this damn war.
There's not going to be wars.
Why-
Everybody's going to be dead.
You think the refugee crisis is crazy with this?
Well-
Wait till this, and you think there's no bread right now because of the wheat that's not there?
Right.
Wait till there's just no bread.
Yeah, or wheat or land.
Wheat, yeah.
I mean, the Ukrainians are flooding land to try to make it difficult for the Russians to pass it. Imagine if Mother Nature is just like, yo, that.
Coming soon.
Let's focus on what's really important.
Yeah.
France.
Oh God.
Okay. France is a country. You know that?
You hate this
I
country.
don't like France for a
I don't
lot of
like 'em
reasons.
either. I don't dislike them as much as you do, but yeah.
I'm not keen on the French, but
The whole thing of America, rah comes from like there in the revel like
no,
that.
I know
yeah.
we're supposed to be friends and all that, but
Yeah.
you know, also they're French.
Look.
They bailed us out once against the British.
Yeah,
you
they
can,
did.
you know.
Look,
I don't
man,
know,
I ride
pat
with
yourself on the back. For that one.
No.
I don't know
Look,
which side of that
look,
conflict you're on. But
my whole thing around England is England's all about, and the British are about, hey, we were the first ones to say no to slavery and not to talk about any bit that they did.
Right,
with
nothing
it.
before that.
I'm good on
all
them.
right, so like, yeah, France bailed us out the one time, but then we've basically spent the last 200 years bailing them out of various other things. Okay, so in France, there's a restaurant called Maison de la Poutine.
Oh.
Okay, which serves poutine, which
Yummy.
is
Yummy.
not French. It's Quebecois, which is Canadian.
Yes.
It's French fries
Yummy.
with gravy and cheese curds, and it is, maybe some people know it as disco fries. It's fantastic. Who doesn't love poutine? Everybody loves
love
poutine.
it.
I don't even like Canada. I like poutine.
You
okay,
don't.
They got pink money. Okay, so but they've had a bit of a problem. What's the problem going on there, Tez?
It's very close to Putin.
Yes, actually, it's almost exactly the same as the French spelling of.
Oh, wow.
It is the same as the French spelling of Putin, and so they've been getting a lot of hate mail and stuff. They had to post up all these flyers and social media stuff, going like, "Okay, we sell fries with gravy. We're not that guy," and people are somehow confused about this. It says this is
A lot of this is going on, though. I heard another story. I don't know. It might be local, but it was like it's these Russian shops, and people are so crazy in their heads.
Yeah, it happened in
'Cause it-
DuPont. Yeah, they went after the Russian restaurant.
It's the Russian military, and not even Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
And the Russian people, they're mostly separated from this.
And they don't
so
they don't even know it's happening.
Right, they don't want
They're
like
not allowed to know it's happening.
so you just going and attacking these restaurants on Yelp, it's not helpful.
No.
It's not helpful.
Those people aren't Russian. They're not Putin. They're not
They
there.
are in America
They're
trying
here.
to make an honest dollar.
Yeah, and everybody who works in that kitchen is not Russian. You're like, oh, shut this restaurant down. And like, what? So Pablo Sanchez doesn't have a job? Like, what? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
It's very like that story. I was like, yo, there's more to the like. I've heard this twice now. Actually, it might be the third time. Like,
Russia House. It's right there on
it's Russia
Connecticut
House. It's the
Avenue.
one, yeah.
They got people throwing rocks at them. And
They're soon going to be the house.
Yeah,
it's got to be. That's what they're going to change all these places. And one dude was
why
defiant.
do you serve
He's like,
all this
no.
borscht?
He's
You know,
like,
it's
no,
like
I'm
it's
not
the
changing my
house.
damn name for this. And I was like, I get it, bro. Look,
Hey,
weather the storm.
don't make a stupid idea and change your name to something like the Commanders.
Are we getting to them tonight?
No, we'll get to that later. All right. You are here nominally for a variety of reasons, but one of those reasons is you know all of the tech stuff,
A decent amount.
which I don't know anything about.
You wave that flag proudly.
Yes. My job is to yell into this here can. You, on the other hand, know all kinds of important things. What we learned from the Fake News Washington Post of Amazon is that...
of Amazon.
Yeah. Of the Amazon.
Of the Amazon, like the Ukraine.
Is that Belarus and Russia have been like preemptively fishing, pH fishing,
Yes.
in Poland and some of these other sort of NATO rim countries, maybe ahead of this war, like they were planning it or something. What's going on here?
I mean, right, and just for anybody who like doesn't know, right, phishing is, you've probably seen it. Someone sends you an email.
When you go to this concert that goes on forever and everybody's smoking a lot of weed.
that
It's
fish.
called fishing.
Okay.
Yeah. Trey Anastasio.
Right. And
Sounds pretty Russian.
Anastasio. A little bit on that, right? So, yeah, right. So that's the idea behind it. And
no, you didn't explain what it actually was.
Oh, I did not.
My
did I take it? No, I said no.
You let my bad.
I let that go through. Sorry,
slide.
It's a hop slam.
Don't do that. Hop slam.
The phishing is, again, an email might get sent out to you, right? As a decent example, your boss sends you an email. Hey, I need you to update this right now, and
click this link and sign this form.
Right, and then after that, you end up having like running behind the scenes. Usually,
you might not even notice anything happen.
Right, yeah. So where sometimes folks can activate your cameras, they can do all these things around your device without you knowing. In this case here,
if you get caught doing the Me Too thing, you should say you got phished. Jeffrey Toobin was like, "No, I didn't do it."
People have been saying that. I mean, right? People have been saying that.
I got hacked.
Exactly, right?
Sure
no one's really used the phishing piece of it yet, right? Right, exactly. So, and again, what it seems like is prior to the war starting, Belarus as well, right? It was Belarus and Russia.
Yeah, and the Fancy Bear guys.
And the Fancy Bear guys, which again, I think we should know.
Yeah, there's Fancy Bear and Ghostwriter. These are the two.
They basically were going out and sending out this malware. I think there's like a malware plant, I think was in there. And again, just going back to the common thread that we had earlier on here, misinformation and disinformation is going to kind of control this war. But I think we're in a new age of war when you're able to have, again, folks ahead of time kind of prepping folks in a sense for, again,
we used to do this, in a sort of less technical way, right? We'd have actors behind the scenes gathering
like
information, taking pictures. Well, before Pearl Harbor, there were all these quote unquote tourists who were taking all these photos and then sending them back, and so that they could get the angles of the attack or whatever. The British and the Germans did this to each other constantly during the war. What I want to talk about is who names these hacking groups? Because this is terrible. Got Fancy Bear. We've got Ghostwriter. There's one out of China. Let's see. Google has also detected a China-based threat actor called Mustang Panda.
That's a good one.
Is that really good?
Mustang Panda.
That sounds like a bad metal band.
Coming out of China?
That sounds like a bad metal band. Like what are we doing with the Mustang Panda?
So I mean, but even there, right? So that. And again, why this could be an issue is, let's say, again, someone does this to a government official, government ex-official in security gets the link, they click on the link, now they're giving up, whether it's, again, access to Ukraine secrets. Again, it could change, it could quickly change a war, any type of military action, because you don't know what you're really giving up, and you don't know what folks are accessing on your databases, on your servers there. So, again, just a new age way to to fight.
Totally.
But I guess not. Maybe again, it's still espionage.
It's the same idea, but it's just far
faster.
More intrusive and far more effective.
Yeah, it's like it's not happening over a long period of time.
So obviously, the right thing to do here is ignore all of your emails, especially from work.
Yeah, your boss emails you.
I'm sorry, it's national security. I'm trying to prevent phishing.
You didn't look at that PDF I sent you?
No, of course I didn't. I don't click any links in the email,
especially not from you.
Not from you. I don't trust you, Sergey. Yeah. If your boss's name's Sergey, I'm sorry. That's tough. He's not having a good time. Nobody's answering his emails right now.
That's right.
It's true. I'm not. I mean, come on.
You're probably right on that. Right.
Or Natasha. It's not good either. Right. Okay. You want to take a break?
Let's take a break.
All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Chip Chat on RIP Radio Network.
Swoops.
Yo, Gully Squad. Well, you don't know, big bad and cold. Man like Priest and Black up here in your soul. How will them I deal with? Bad man them cold. How we them can't fall. And why this big? Them have got ton low. What you can DC, VAMD, DMV. They don't know what's how we with them envy.
So talking about, man, you know what I'm saying?
Ready. Priest, yeah.
I burst organs, niggas queue up the church organ. All you fuck boys better prepare for the earth scorching. Y'all don't believe in science no more, y'all all whores. For Instagram likes, y'all niggas on all fours. I say nah, my nomenclature alone make phonies hate ya. One titty, I knew then I was a freak by nature. Rage, what up? Beat hot, my nigga, I'm loving it. Pen touch it, heavy verse, under the covenant. Oh God, these niggas poo-tang, they boo things. Marion Anderson, about to show 'em my true range. Smooth Ruger, scoop your best bitch in a blue Uber. Threesome, me and her friends, you between two Rugers. Cacao, I don't mean that chocolate bean neither. Cops always trying to give us chocolate king fever. That's the real COVID. We know what y'all work for. We sideline you niggas like turf toe.
We go by food, massive and people. Priest and block of people.
Yeah.
There's no equal. Them a me too. Them can't walk in a way room by the wind. Them a go get
We
concealed.
coming through like boom. Guess who stepped in the room? Ow, you don't even know my style. Lord have mercy.
Woo! Never heard of them. We a smart one from DC. Never heard of them.
Best believe everything I spit in the booth matters. You in the game spitting at shoots and ladders. We not the same, here's proof for data. Oratory like morning glory. Paper mate knock 3 at the buzzer like Robert Ory. Oh damn, all hands on deck. King man elect respect when I'm on mic check. Like I want to Marcel and Marseille. I get biz, plus I'm like the finest of all grades. R.I.P. big bro, my big toe on him. Want him, I'm like a legend to yellow backs like the forum. Little niggas can't beat straight and what my state. You medium rare in the middle, fuck up out my face. I say grace before I charm squads. Oh God, that's my witness. Pull your luck alarm, Planet Fitness like ow. You don't even know my stizzy. Priest Da Nomad, I'm block, I get busy.
We go by through massive and people. Priest and block of me. Two with there's no equal.
Come on.
Them a me too. Them can't walk in a way room by the wind. Them a go get
We
concealed.
coming through like boom. Guess who stepped in the room? Ow, you don't even know my style.
Lord have mercy. Woo! Never heard of them. We a smart one come DC. We heard of them. And we spit well lit, we fling them. To you we a bring them. And in the ear everywhere does swing them. You can't lose if you win them. Spell them, we spit well lit, we fling them.
Priest Da Nomad.
To you we a bring them. And in the ear everywhere does swing them. Can't lose if you win them. Yes.
Exhale on the ganja smoke. On God bless Aaliyah, my squad came to rock the boat. You so platinum, now you opening up. Yeah, so fuck the industry, it's the culture for us. Jay said it, we forgot what we came for. It's paid for. It's why my first ticket to the depths like Namor. Underground is the movement. Collection plates poison the pulpit. Throw your hands up for that true shit.
True massive and people, Priest and block of me. Two with there's no equal.
Come on.
Them a me too. Them can't walk in a way room by the wind. Them a go get concealed.
We coming through like boom. Guess who stepped in the room? Ow, you don't even know my style. Lord have mercy.
Woo! Never heard of them. We a smart one come DC. We heard of them. Priest Da Nomad block up here and dropper. Any boy talk and of them with the backer. Well like them smart, them boy a get clapper. Tell them them boy this high and them dropper.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's poppin'?
All right, that song that you just heard is by our guest and one of his friends, but mostly our guest, Priest Da Nomad. That was Guess Who.
Welcome.
Priest has been around since Brian had hair, since Rip Radio was broadcasting back on a Fisher-Price. Hailing from the D.C. area, he's been on the cutting edge of the underground independent hip-hop scene for decades.
Yes.
Not to age you or anything.
No, you're not.
Hey, look,
We're all
I'm
old
proud
guys
of it. I'm
here.
proud of it, man. Celebrating 30 years.
I was gonna say,
This shit.
I heard it definitely like
30 years, man.
years ago.
Basically,
Beat grinder days is when I
Okay,
remember. When
okay.
I first hear, that's when I remember it.
Yeah, that's what's up.
during the pandemic, you cut like 16 albums, I guess you released them. I don't know. They all
Music out
started
here.
coming right
There's a
out.
lot of music out there.
You had one specifically called Out the House, which
Yeah.
more or less captured how we were all feeling right at that exact moment.
Yeah.
So welcome to Chip Chat.
I'm still trying to get that to manifest.
Yes. Well, that's
Hopefully
my
this summer. Hopefully this summer.
That's my first question. Let's talk about that Out the House. Recently, local jurisdictions achieved enough vaccination and low enough transmission rate to drop some of the mask mandates and stuff. So the question is, do you think your album single-handedly saved us from the virus? It's a legitimate question.
Man.
You only have
Hey,
legitimate
look.
questions.
Hey, look. Claim it. Right?
Yeah.
Right? All
Claim
right.
it.
There it is. That's
You know
what
what
it
I'm
is.
saying?
That's
Would you want?
That's
You
it.
going for
There
something?
it is.
Claim
It's
it.
happening.
Then you can say, "Won't he do it?
Yes.
Won't he do it?"
Okay,
man.
good. We got that. That was
Simple one,
my
that's
dumbest
it.
question. Okay, this is a little more at heart. So a lot of your records reference very DC sort of things. I mean, you proudly claim our area.
Absolutely.
We're all local guys here, so it's not going to sound weird to us. But talking about mumbo sauce and half smokes and all kinds of stuff. But you're also kind of like big on the national scene. Do you think that the non-local audiences really understand that? Are you bringing DC culture to them, or are they getting confused? Are they just rapping along with the music and the lyrics?
I think. I mean, if you look at any artist, man, from coming from any area, they rep where they from, and see, that's what hip hop is. I mean, you bringing people into your locale, your hood. Nas took us to Queensbridge.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? NWA took us to Compton, right? So I mean, that's what it is. It's like when we have to show the world, and the world knows our area for certain things.
Traffic.
They know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They know what they see in the media, depending on what era in the media, too.
That's true, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we got to show them the real. And, you know, like they said, like Chuck said, hip hop is a poor people's CNN. You know what I'm saying? So we have to make sure that we telling it from our lens on the, you know, on the streets and stuff. So that's what it is, man. It's just, you know, and it's also a pride thing because
that's a good point.
Doing hip hop here, I've been a bastard child here, and I've been because I was doing this before.
Before people was on the hip.
Before Logic, before you know,
Odyssey
Wale,
was seeing,
all those guys.
Odyssey was seeing me when they was in high school. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so,
yeah, you've been doing this for a brick, and it wasn't cool. I think you bring up because it wasn't cool to do hip hop at a certain point, and especially not here.
Not in the early '90s.
I can expound upon that because I was on the DMV hip hop documentary recently, and I'm also doing my own documentary.
Dope.
So one of the things that I made a connection to recently, if you understand the streets, like what was going on in the drug game in the area, man, like and even New York. So you know, Rayful Edmonds, everybody knows. Like if you don't know who that is,
you're lucky.
Look it up.
Just don't
you know what I'm saying? Huge you know, drug empire here in the 80s. Well, Ray got locked up in like 90, I believe, right?
90 or 91.
So I graduated in 90, but I was sneaking out of high school 89, 90, me and my man going to the club scenes dancing. We was hitting the chapter, you know what I'm saying, chapter 3, back there, you know, on the east side. Or back then, these are the old clubs, you know what I'm saying? No, I was no Nations back then, bro.
Okay.
So I mean,
I was on the hardcore side.
We was hitting these spots, man, and what happened was after Ray got locked up, man, I think it was a lot of New York dudes coming down here and hustling. I mean, that's when Alpo and all them cats was coming down here, and Wayne Perry and them was kind of, you know, looking out for me. So it was a lot of New York dudes coming down here, and it was cool at first, but then they started hustling, trying to take territory, started getting murdered. A lot of these dudes started getting murked, you know what I'm saying? So it was a huge grudge against anything New York. For like I started doing my thing like in 92. 93 at the Ritz nightclub. My man's put me on Kilimanjaros, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you start coming up and we've got a grudge against New York, and then
in that era, it was kind of like a, you know, we had our own, you know, DC and New York runs parallel to a lot of things because they created hip hop, we created go-go.
Right.
They a fashion town. We a fashion town.
Right. Sure.
We got our own. A lot of stuff they took from us. So it's like,
and a lot of them come in to go to Howard.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
They all come in. They want to come get educated down here.
And that's who I ran into when I got on the scene. I ran my man Rhonda. I just talked to my man Rhonda Berry, and we used to do the Ritz nightclubs, you know what I'm saying? My man Paul Howard, all of these cats, they used to, you know, do their thing. This is what Paul's still doing this thing. But you know, they the ones that heard me.
A Howard guy.
You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, I mean, they the ones that heard me and was like, I ain't never heard no DC dude, because I always was hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And when, you know, so I think them coming here and then hearing me was like, we ain't never heard no DC dude rhyme like that. You know what I'm saying? So they started throwing me in the booth. So my thing was, I think that it didn't get embraced from the streets here because of what was going on the street game.
And it was like, why would you? It's
New
too
York
close to
and
New
DC.
York. That's the interesting.
No, it was the Bama New York shit.
And it's like, now we got our go-go shit.
You doing the Bama New York shit. That's what it was.
That's an interesting point. I ain't never had broken down for me like that.
That's like DC stuff, like back and forth. Though he was a lot of like back.
Well, Biz, you know, I was under his wing, but Biz was a separate story. Biz is a universal. He's a universal personality. So it's like business is love. He was just
okay.
He was just love.
He could cross up and down 95, no problem.
Biz is loved in every hood, bro. Like for
good.
real. So, but that but you had cats that came down, Dougie, and all of them was coming down here and doing stuff with go-go bands and stuff like that. But it was just the influx. I think it was the street thing that kind of messed the relationship up for a minute, because it was a real good relationship. And then and that's how Herbie took. And Cool is my big bro. DJ Cool is my big bro. So I know from him, I know Herbie stepped to him at the Go-Go Live joint and said, like, he was the influence. Hearing him do Music Ain't Loud Enough in 86 was his catalyst to taking, I never heard nobody rhyme over Go-Go. So that was the catalyst of him taking all the whole go-go sound and applying it to all Kid and Play, Salt and Pepper, all that, because of Cool. You know what I'm saying? So, me and Cool.
So when is this documentary coming out?
Right. We didn't give him folks too much on this.
Don't give it all away.
We ain't even touched the surface, man.
I'm just sitting there like, yo, just keep going. Because I listen to these stories all the time.
You want a radio show? You can do our show.
Right, exactly. You just whatever you want to come through.
Nah, man, but it's like it's connecting these dots. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this documentary too to also connect dots in the area from the infrastructure problems in the area, because there's a lot of infrastructure problems in the area of why me and Nonchalant is my sis. You know what I'm saying? So Nonchalant is on the new album. Shout out Nan, man. She on the new album. We got a joint together, and we just got together like 2019. When her and Biz got inducted at Pop-Up Hip Hop Museum thing.
Yeah, that was here, right?
I went for Trini. Trini hit me up. I went with him and saw Biz down there. Me and Biz and everything. And then I met Nan down there. And we became real cool after that. She came to my release for the Manhood Project. She came to shows and we all
Dynamite
good.
Album, by the way.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. But it's like we became real good, man. And it's like I said, Nan, but you've been doing stuff for so long, and I've been doing stuff for like 20-something years. Why are we just connected?
You never cross paths?
Why are we just connected? You know what I'm saying? It's because of the infrastructure, and that's a two-bottle whiskey conversation.
We don't have local hip-hop radio.
You know what I'm saying?
That's like a big problem.
We do have local hip-hop radio. It's just not.
It's not on the over-the-air.
It's not supported. It's not.
WPFW, right? Yeah, I was going to say, that's what I was going to say, right?
Of course we have PFW.
But see,
Capitol Hill, let's go,
but see how your attitude is like that? See, it's PFW. But see,
I mean, but we only have like 3 hours of it a week or something like that. We've got 2 hours on a Saturday.
Sometimes I wonder if it's that
when we canceled his show.
When we have one of those things too, it's like we want to almost protect it and make it really like to our own. Where I don't know if it gets like just making sure that it's open to everybody who's coming through it.
But it's public radio, so it's like you got to get donations and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I'm a sustaining member of WPFW. I give them all the money,
and it's love. But I'm just saying, it's a different format. It's a different animal.
It is, but I think it gives a lot more freedom. I just wish that there was more hip hop on PFW. I mean, I was listening literally to the jazz show on the way up.
Yeah,
so like, it's the internet radio. It's all the stuff you guys. It's a lot of stuff now, but it's just been. It's the gatekeepers and the people, the powers that be, who have the resources and authority to bring a lot of this stuff together. There's Backyard and Black Alley and the Black Rock Coalition stuff here. All of this stuff, all these people should know about each other, right? The Jazz Cats, They kind of know each other, but they don't really know each other.
Certain peoples that cross scenes.
What you're saying.
I cross scenes. There's a couple other artists that cross scenes. I've rocked with Jazz Cats. You know what I'm saying? So I've been on. I've freestyled on jazz albums and stuff like that. I know a lot of jazz musicians, my man Cocaine, who used to rock with Steve Coleman and stuff. So we know that world, and I got Go-Go Cats. You know what I'm saying? Me and Killer Cal do a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I know Go-Go Cats, but it's like these people. There's no big events.
But do we lose that let's just say like U Street, for instance, right? It's nothing but like hookah bars now, right? And that used to be a mecca, like for us, like. where folks can go to. I remember being like 14, 15, like things like the beat grinders and things like that to go to, like a place where you could go and link up with folks. And just like if you're, some folks ain't good at networking, but again, if you are people are there, just go talk. But if you're there every week, you kind of bring those, right? The culture gets built and like it's a gathering place. And I just don't know if we got a gathering place any longer for folks to kind of again mingle and kind of like, all right, hey, this is what I'm showcasing this.
Well, and the pandemic didn't help.
And the pandemic is definitely.
I mean, to whatever to the extent that
the pandemic has literally screwed me in the ass for 2 years straight.
We were talking about that off air, that like the live scene just evaporated.
Because all the clubs that we had, the venues that we had relationships with, a lot of them closed down.
Right.
And if they didn't close down, they had new management. And then it's like they don't know. And there's too many outside people that comes in these positions, and they don't know what's going on in the city. They don't know what's going on in the area. So
they don't want to investigate either.
They're like, who's Priest Da Nomad? You know, who's this, who's that? And it's like, all you got to do is...
But that's the thing, what you about to say.
The thing is that
all you got to do is get online.
Nobody researches no more. Nobody does that.
And nobody
does that.
Like,
nah. Everybody got a Bandcamp, but I'm saying it's
the people in charge that don't want to go and do the research in the cities.
The thing is that if you Google and you see, I pulled up my own stuff for the document. I got 20-something article links from appearances and stuff like that, and this stuff that's just archived, Billboard, Rap Pages, Rap City, all of this stuff, and it's like, you know, if you want to find this stuff, you can look for, and then in the stuff that comes up, you know, the last number of years and all that, and it's like, you know, but who's, you know, if you don't look, if you don't care, I know people that I'm in a situation right now. We trying to get booked I'm trying to, you know, get a booking for this venue. We talked to this cat and took us on the interview, all of this type of stuff. Sent them the kit with everything in it, 20-something, all the leads and stuff. Here's the extensive bio. Here's all this stuff, everything. This is all the stuff.
I used to get actual press kits
Hip-Hop Theater with Chad Bozeman. Hip-Hop Theater with Chaz Bozeman, my homegirl Camilla that runs the Apollo now. Like, all of this stuff we done history stuff. Boom. They didn't look at the shit. Niggas... They didn't look at it, and it's like, yo, what's going on? They didn't look at it. Oh yeah, can you resend that? You know, like my man's got to talk to him. Come on, man, you took me on the tour, dude. I didn't ask you to take me on the tour. You took me on the tour,
right? Come on,
I'm like, what we need is a venue that's willing to. There's a moneymaker here. I don't know if Andy Shalal's listening or something. I mean, like, there's an opportunity.
It's not just venue, it's the size and the scope of the event. It has to be, because you know what this area is, man. It's politics. So
that's
it's like
all it is.
It's about appearance. It's about how big is it, and you know, because how big the event is and who's involved will let you know. Oh, okay. These are people that we gotta look at. Oh, this is something that we have to take notice about. You know what I'm saying? The type of video. If you just have it at DC9 or you have it at some low, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's on a certain tier, right?
If
you have it on those,
put it into Anthem,
you know what I'm saying?
Put it into 930, we could do something
with marketing, with crazy marketing and promotions,
let's talk about that off
media, TV, all that stuff.
Maybe there's an opportunity here. We might know a few people.
Yeah. So it's like one of my whole things is that's one of my life's work is this one, that this area, this city is recognizing the contributions of U Street as an art scene, because it's the most contributable cultural music phenomenon to DC outside of go-go. Outside of go-go, the U Street art scene has been the most contributable components to DC music and arts culture. I have, if you want to argue me on it and debate me on it, come see me.
In multiple eras.
Because I got
multiple eras. It's not like just one era. We could go just multiple eras.
I can run off names of national and international cats that's doing their thing that ran through this
genre.
scene.
Yeah, definitely across genre.
It's not hip hop.
Yeah, definitely not at all.
Ta-Nehisi Coates is the best-selling author.
Coates is a hero to everybody. Right?
I was his first cover story in the City Paper. Me and Sub-Z. 97. So it's like,
and Sub-Z's band is a
Jelani
punk
Cobb
band
on
now.
MSNBC, Citizen Cope.
Yeah.
19, who did the Nas documentary, Time is Illmatic. Like, all of these people, man, like, who started off as graph artists, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many. My mastering engineer, you know what I'm saying, who worked for Universal, who's doing Drake, also do my stuff. He product of U Street. Like, it's so many people that came to, because that was when you come here. That was your introduction to the city, because you didn't go to Go-Go's. You couldn't go to Go-Go's back then.
Yeah, you bet not. Right. But it was very embracing, and it was a wraparound kind of a feel, you know, like whatever you were into, you were going to find somebody there who was going to be compatible with that.
And the thing is, you weren't going to change what was there. All you could do is soak it up. Like, whatever was there, you just could absorb it. Whatever you bring into it, like, it's not, like, not to take away, but it's just, that's not what it's going to be.
I mean, I knew I didn't belong there. I just would hang out and listen. I didn't give a shit.
Nah, man, but it was for everybody.
Yeah,
That's
it was
the thing.
for everyone.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
That was the beauty. That was the beauty of, like, State.
So
State of the Union was my spot. So that, like, the State, man, any given night you could walk in, it'd be Richard Guinevere Smith at the bar, like, coming. He doing a 1-man play. He's at the bar. He's like, any given night, there's some crazy jazz or rock dude or somebody, like, you know what I'm saying? Gloria Estefan come to town. Her musicians chilling at the bar. Like, anybody. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop, you could any given night. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Again, that's a long conversation.
We're gonna get exactly the documentary. Go ahead,
exactly.
Ask him
So
something. I want to throw my
weird
thing.
I got a couple ones here.
Of the interview.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, wait. I have 2 other questions.
You have 2 other ones?
Go ahead. Yeah. Go
all
ahead.
Right. So, Priest, like, as a Jamaican, you got one of my favorite lines, right? And I'm trying to remember, but it was like, I'm surrounded by nice MCs, plus I'm nice with the weaponry that makes them slurp rice in peace, which I thought was just fucking. The vision, like,
ooh, I remember that. What was that from?
That's an old, like,
that's on Mr. Move's album.
Yeah. That's off of Mr. Move's.
Plus I'm nice with the weaponry that make it slurp rice in peas. That's what's up. And I forgot that.
Yeah, so and that's from an era like that I remember, like, of U Street, and, like, again, just being out there and, like, leaving school, like, we gonna make it to the beat grinders. we gonna see, like, those was, like, joyous times. I remember, like, being at Cap City. I guess one of the questions I had is, what would 22 Priest tell 05 Priest?
Ooh.
Wow. Yeah, just whether it's around the music, just like
wait like 10 minutes into the interview to just, okay.
Well, I took a hiatus from 2009 to 2000 maybe, because I was, I'm an engineer, right? So I was working at Omega Studios.
Oh, so yeah.
So I got really deep into engineering. I was doing stuff with Drew Hill and Luda and a bunch of cats, like, you know what I'm saying?
Baltimore or something.
So when I was doing a lot of stuff, like, I was trying to get picked up by a production company.
And just like
Guru's my man. Young Guru's my man.
Right,
so that was his. So I'm trying to follow his footsteps. Like, I know he went to Omega and he got put, and his whole crew, Tracy Lee and all of them cast, man. But I was trying to make that happen, I was kind of getting fed up with the artist thing. You know, I think that we all come to that point where we just need to take a step back. And I think and that's when Odyssey and them have really, really started to do their thing, like 2008, 9, low budget in them.
Yeah.
And I stepped back to, like, 2014. And I still did stuff. I was on the scene, I was getting stuff, doing mostly stuff as an engineer. But I had a project that I was working on called the Ozone Project, and I lost half of it. Damn. Hard drive crash. Well, a student knocked my hard drive off the ISO booth at one weekend. And when I was at Omega, came in, Firewire port was all bent up and everything.
And as a person who, like, it's hard to explain, like, just when one of those accidents happen, it's like I
looked at that. The idea that hard drives. I mean,
but I was already.
I know, but
why place it on your cloud? You know,
I'm a firm believer in, like, the universe and, like spirits
for a reason.
And I was already not feeling it. I was just, like, working. I was like, man, I got to finish this project. Blah 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 blah, and I was bullshitting with it. And because I wasn't giving it the energy that it desered, I had some shit on there.
Your student came and
I had some shit on there too, like me and and I was like, man, and then I came in and and I usually was pretty good about backing stuff up, and I had we had these exabyte tapes at Omega that was backing stuff up. I had my own, and I was doing stuff for a while, and I just got lazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I get it. I'll back it up. Boom, came in. half the joint. I did a live band joint too. It was crazy. Yeah, Sound of the City. I did a live joint with them, and it was and we lost it, and I was just like, okay, I'm done. I was like, I'm done for a minute. I need to step back. And if I could say something to myself then, I would have been like, yo, re-up and push forward. And take a step back, but re-up and push forward. And because that right around that time, the transition of the industry happened.
Sure.
And I was on my way to because of Mr. Move Something, and then we had an SPP album out after that. I was on my way, and I was getting hit up from promoters and overseas, and it was really close to start touring, to start getting over there.
Right.
It wasn't quite. I had to keep doing some more work,
More just to push
but
more
I kind
out.
of laid back, and then it was so that kind of fell. Now, and if I'd have started touring at that time and locked in my fan base
Then when
over
the
this,
MP3 stuff happened, it
would have carried over, and so that's what Odyssey did. That's what happened with
Well, and
you know
what
what I'm
happened with
saying?
Stan too, because that's
Yeah.
like right with
Yup.
with
Yup.
the Nujabes
Yup.
and all that stuff.
Yup.
That just really
Yup.
took off.
Yep.
So let me piggyback on that whole thing about formats and storage and all of that stuff. DJ Premier's got this sort of YouTube show where he talks about his little 3.5 discs and all of the mixers and the equipment and stuff. Speaking of Premier, he's playing your song, the one that we play. Guess who? It's in rotation over on Shade 45 on XM, which is far less important.
Yeah, exactly.
So my question is, does that make you a member of Gangstar now?
God gracious.
Nah,
What?
man.
No, I
easy,
mean, come on.
easy.
Okay, all right.
Easy. No. Shout out to Primo. He's played a couple of my joints, man. And he's played a lot of stuff from here.
He loves CC. Like, he loves to slip our stuff
him
in.
eclipsing them and Chuck D, man. So shout out to
Well,
Chuck.
of course.
Chuck is my idol, man. He's played about 5 of my joints, man. So
My
on
3-year-old
his-
can sing most of Public Enemy.
yeah, man. So that has been to me even more unreal. You know what I'm saying? Because I picked up the pen because of Chuck and Kane. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, of course, I can only imagine what that make you feel like.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Chuck made me go read.
oh wow.
Like, he's the one that made me really go read. He really shaped my direction in the culture. Like, you know, I could have went a number of different directions, but because of my consciousness of reading and him, you know, learn who's Joanne Chestermont, who is Marcus Garvey, and who are these people he's talking about, referencing. And it was like I went to go, oh wow.
I explain that to my kids because they were like, how do I get to be like so-and-so? And I was like, you need to read.
Well, yeah, because people don't.
You need the vocab.
But if people don't understand, it's like the more that you read and
The
you
more
read
references
and you read
you
and you
have,
read,
the more you
eventually you get to the point where you're gonna go right. It just that I think that happens. It's just because the more and I think even James Baldwin might have a quote around that. It's like after you just get to a point of just consuming it, you end up with, whether it's like fiction, whatever, and especially in hip hop and being a lyricist, like me and MC, like writing is a critical point of what we're trying to do.
Basically, your brain is full of so many words, you got to let some out.
And you can tie stuff together.
And everybody needs the release, right? So everybody has this thing to release, but you just don't have the wherewithal in which to articulate.
Right.
But when you start reading, all of a sudden you get the wherewithal and you get the I know how to say that.
Undereducated
I know how to say that.
By the, they don't want people to have wherewithal.
For a lot of y'all out there as well too. Again, even when we say like you read a lot and then you go write, I want some of y'all to write in y'all journals and not online. That's what I want everybody to go back to get you a journal. That's what I'm promoting.
My live journal? What are you talking
not
about?
Not a live journal. No. I'm talking about you get the whatever type of a legal pad or something that you sit down and write and just write it down. Because I don't know.
That's for you. Reading is
you're
you
not
nerds
the reader.
can read.
He's not the reader.
I don't read.
He's not.
I don't read. Well, I don't read fiction. You read.
I don't read
books.
fiction either.
No, but he reads books.
Yeah.
I don't read books. He carries around books.
This is what we got right now.
He talks about
Born
I
in
was
Blackness.
in such a coffee house sitting here reading a book.
Hey yo,
I don't drink coffee and I don't read.
Yeah,
That's for nerds.
Look,
I'm busy yelling about college
I'm a proud
basketball.
reader. Yeah, man.
See, now I want to know where I want to go with a couple questions now because I know you probably like a
That's my
super
important one.
gear because now for the engineer piece, so I almost want to go like, what's top 5 gear for you? Because like I'm like a old like Scratch magazine, go find that, like read through that. Me and my boys used to like carry the ASR between each other, so I want to know like what's Priest's like top 5.
Well, I'm
gear?
an engineer. I'm not a beat maker.
But like but gear in general, what is like what's the gear like you over the years you've been like, whether it's like old gears, new stuff, what do you enjoy?
Well, my ultimate baby was the SSL console.
Okay.
So SSL 4000E console that we used to have at Omega, that was my baby. That was like, ass for days, like Southeast bras. Ass for days, bro. Ass for days, boy. That joint, the stereo bus compressor, and even when I came into the when I came into engineering and at Omega, there was my old GM. He was a straight analog guy. He would not.
That's why I wanted to get
Dave Durr. My man Dave Durr.
That's right.
He wouldn't touch. He wouldn't touch anything. He was like, man, fuck Pro Tools. He was like. But Pro Tools wasn't that great.
Probably advanced.
It was.
What are you on? Pro Tools? What was that? Pro Tools 3?
We had
that was like 5.
Beat maker on the PS1.
When they had the TDM, but they weren't HD yet. They had them black 882 interfaces or whatever. And it was, I was just like, all right. But once the HD systems came out, it was a wrap.
Sounded like a Casio keyboard.
So it was Well, once an HD system, but the thing was, it was like. So his whole thing, and I was, he was great with tape and all that, but I'm like, Slim, with the editing, I'm like, like, when you got to edit stuff, and it's like, and I taught analog editing. I used to splice tape. I can only imagine. I used to splice tape and all that type of stuff. I can only imagine how it must help you when you go move to digital, knowing how to, because you probably just look at that shit on the you know where the hell it's That's
at.
where all the tools come from.
Right, exactly.
It's come from. So I used to teach analog editing classes. So doing that. So, but I'm like, so one thing is like, you can record the tape, but then dump it to Pro Tools or dump it, you know what I'm saying? So I would do certain things, and I mean, that's how I was working on Mr. Move Something album when I first started working at Omega, and what it was painstaking because it would take me 2 weeks to do a mix because I would have 3 recording studios.
Are you more critical engineering your own stuff than you are of other stuff?
It's about the same.
Are you?
Yeah,
okay.
But I was getting to learn the environment.
Do you use your own stuff as an opportunity to try out engineering techniques and skills and stuff?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I learned by doing my album at the time. So, like, when class would end like 11, I would literally be there from like 11 to like 6, 7. I would spend the night. I would have, stuff lay on the couch or whatever and teach class the next morning. And I would take a song and I would mix it in different scenarios in each room. So I would go to like Studio C had an API board, so I would go and then mix totally on the console,
like they used to
right? And then I would mix totally on the console, and then I would mix totally in Pro Tools, and then I would mix that hybrid. I would take subgroups out and put it on the console, and then then
some of y'all is bored. There's some of y'all who's enjoying. Y'all gonna really enjoy this.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it would take me 2 weeks, and then I would do the same thing in Studio B and Studio A, and then D was a mastering room, so we had the Pro Tools. It was a Control 24. Then it was an Icon. So we had that, and because a part of it was learning the room, learning where the low end would resonate, and learning where I could go. And so when I knew it was tickling me in a certain place, I knew that low end was right.
Did you do the thing with the car?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
That's like the critical thing, right?
I still do that.
Mix,
yeah.
Right.
I got to go to the truck.
Track and you got it right. And you're like, all right, let me see what this sounds like in the car.
Yeah, I got the bowl system in the truck, so I got to go there.
Shake the window just the right way.
I know some would go and throw up another track on the side, like to try to go like if they like I like a mix on another track, throw it on.
It's a reference.
It's a reference on there as well too.
Thing about Neil Young with the barns.
Nah.
Neil Young had this like farm. And he had 2 barns on either side of like a lake, and he would set up the speakers and stuff in the barns, and then he would paddle out in the middle of the lake in a canoe and turn it on and
just listen.
Yeah, and he would listen to like what's coming off of this barn, and then he would go. Back and like
sound. That's
why he reproduced the same album like 35 times. That's insane.
I would call that. People know about me in Studio B and Omega because students used to know because I would literally. It was at the end of the hall, and I would have to go out, and there was like a little lobby in the midway, and I would come out to the lobby, and I'm hearing the low end, and I would have to hear how clear and nuanced I heard it in the lobby.
Because how can you get that to
because
still
it's
be
like
low
to me it was like walking
clear?
by a club.
Yeah,
if you walking by the club,
you
outside the club.
If all you
You
want
want
to
to
hear
hear.
the shaking, you can't hear the clarity and the tone. It's not there. Yeah.
I want to hear. I'm like, yeah, there it is. And students are hitting like,
okay.
I'm like, yeah, that's it, right? I'm like, that's it, right? So like students used to come to my, can I just sit in? I'm like, yeah, come on, sit in, and they were, so it was, I tried to really be cool with that, but it was, that SSL console was my thing, man, and I think so. At home, I right now, I got a corner in my living room, and that's where I do all my stuff at. But I took 6 months. When I got these small 3-inch Genelecs, and all I did was just listen.
Move them around and
I just kept them there, and I just listened all around the house to stuff that I knew, and I just knew where the low end was correct. Where by the kitchen, I'm hearing, okay, the thump is by the kitchen.
You realize you
and
had
I
some
said, if I'm not
floorboards
hearing
that
this
were
thump by the
loose.
kitchen, it ain't right.
You gotta tighten it up.
And I translated, so I've mixed the Manhood Project, everything since the Manhood Project in the corner of my living room.
Out of those 3-inch speakers.
Yes. And
See,
headphones.
I gotta
and
spot-
headphones. And headphones.
I got a spot in
Because
my
my kids are
basement.
sleeping at night.
of course. Yeah.
So I have an unfinished basement that I'm gonna build a mix and master
Right.
room, but it's unfinished right now. So everything is in the corner of my living room. So I had to learn. You should mix at quiet levels anyway.
Sure.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I had to pump it at a certain point, and yeah, man. So
That's where my piano is like I got this one spot in
people
the
like, yo,
basement
you mixing
that
this in the
just
corner? I'm like,
sounds-
yeah,
yes.
oh yes, it sounds horrible.
It
The room
sounds
is
right.
It's hard. The room is horrible. It's just like it's like you're like this is room. Did you treat the room? No, it sounds like shit. I said, but I know how it sounds. I know where the problems are.
Right, and that's the first step right
as
there.
long as you know where the problems
Do
are.
you use your music to look for home improvement projects?
No.
You'll be like, oh, I found a floorboard. I gotta go fix that over there.
And the new project is out the house, right?
No,
that's
Oh wait, hold on.
That's the last project.
That's two projects.
ago.
No, that's the last project.
Oh,
It's the last project. It's the last project.
But
It's
the
the
new one,
last.
this is what I want to ask him about the new one, because Mother's Day is coming up.
Yes, that's what's coming out on Mother's
You
Day.
got the Mother's Day thing coming out, right?
The Mother's Day is a new single coming out.
Yes,
Okay.
but Mother's
The
Day
album-
is
the
coming up
album
in
is
May,
called-
and
the-
I want to make sure we all get the Mother's Day single before
The album
Mother's
is
Day
called
happens.
Receipts.
There you go.
It's called Receipts because it's time to look at the
your
books.
receipts.
It's time to look at the books.
Okay.
I put 30 on it.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey.
Okay,
put-
so I didn't want to.
Yeah.
When I said decades, I
Yeah.
didn't put like a number of
No,
decades.
I'm
but it's
telling you, it's 30.
30.
1992
30
to
years.
2022. I'm celebrating 30 years
And
this
you've
year.
got a
so it's
documentary
beautiful.
coming
Yes.
out about that.
Yeah.
And you've got the Mother's Day.
So the single that's coming out on Mother's Day is done. It's called My Way Home.
There you
so,
go.
and shout out to my man Chef Rock Harper, Hell's Kitchen winner. He has this restaurant called Queen Mother.
Yep.
And that we do a lot of stuff together. We mesh our art, but
We gotta
that's
get
going to
him
be
in
the
touch
theme
with
song
Roddy.
for that restaurant as well. It's on the
that's a
album.
dope way to,
and
like,
he's in the video. We're doing the video and all that with his moms and everything. So yeah, it's beautiful, man. So it's my man Vintage who did Pump Faking.
Yes.
He did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
See,
get this
But
right.
I got live instrumentation. My man playing the sax. It's
I'm buying
a
this
laid
for my
back.
mom.
It's a laid back boom bap jazz joint.
That's what I love.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned pump faking, and I did have a question around that as well too. I was like, because with having a song like that, can you tell our listeners about a time that somebody had to pump faked on Priest,
All
and
the
you
time,
had to check them?
Look, I don't argue on social media, man.
Well, I can tell
re-
that about it. From what I've
I re-
listened, I can tell you despise that.
I don't
I know
I re-
that from listening to the
I've-
music.
And it's funny because if you say something, it's like people start having threads or arguments on your page.
it's too
and then
much.
if you say something, it's like, da 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 da. And I'm like, I told this one dude was like, this one dude I know from back in the day. And I know he ain't built like that.
Oh,
I'm
see,
like,
that's
Slim,
the what-
I'm
see,
like,
why-
and he not built like that. And it was something I can't remember. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was like, I forgot we were talking about something. And I said, look, man, you misunderstand it, such and such and such. And he's like, yeah, man, well, such and such and such. I was like, hey, careful. I was like, just
be careful.
I was like, just careful, relax,
Some of
man.
those things are better off there.
I said, just careful, just relax, man. Da-da-da. You be careful.
Oh no, come on. Come on.
So, look.
Is it because I'm
a grown-
doesn't really show how big you are?
I'm a grown man.
Yeah, because you dumb
I
you dumb the shit out. You fucking with you.
Yo, I'm glad
Look,
we're
man.
friends. I wouldn't.
Shit.
No, I
He's an idiot.
Look, man,
I would disagree with him over a pitch count.
Look, man, I'm a grown man, man. Like
that was a strike. Whatever you say, sir, that's fine.
when you put in a lot of work when you're young, I'm telling you, you know real dudes, man. Because when you get older, you just want peace, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Real niggas I know that used to get wreck in the spots and the go-go's and the hoods and stuff. Like, man, when we get out, all them dudes out, they going to jazz concerts now, man.
Because you happy you made it. You happy you made it.
He's glad to be alive,
Yeah.
glad to be prospering, man. Look, man, we don't want no problems, man. But look, if we got to go there, we going there with the passion, and it's not.
That's gonna be a problem.
And it's like, and it's like, so my thing is, it's not worth it, man. I'm just trying to raise my babies, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get in no bullshit with you, Slim. So I just be like, all right, man, you got it, bro. Okay, all right, man. I blocked them. I was like, all right, man.
Isn't the block feature fantastic?
It's awesome, man.
Isn't it?
I ain't gotta say nothing. I
Don't
just
you
be like,
wish
all right,
we
man.
had that
You
back
just-
in the
you
90s
just-
in real life? We're like, yo, block. You couldn't even block people off your landline. They'd still call you.
But also too, but the reason why it's necessary in that space is because when it was face to face, people wasn't coming out of their mouths the same way.
No.
And there was just a level of
Yeah.
and certain people might do that, and that's not gonna end well for
I got my ass whooped a lot of times.
It's just like just because
But that's why you know.
Yeah, and
That's why
then
you know.
and you learn from that. But
that's not sort of thing. The bullies have there's a lack of social interaction, physical interaction, and motherfuckers don't get punched in the face no more. So that's people don't get when you don't get punched in the face no more. You don't learn the etiquette. You don't learn
in the face for
etiquette.
living.
When you hear somebody,
excuse
me, I'm sorry.
Let me give
you
you
don't
my
learn
wife's
that
phone
shit.
number because she doesn't appreciate how important that stuff. I tell her, like, hey man, somebody said, you might have to do the thing, hey, that's not okay. We don't do that.
You gotta learn. You learn etiquette
and
from consequence.
Yes,
it has to be a consequence.
Yes,
and it's like when you grew up, the 80s, 90s. Here, it's like you learn, Slim. It's consequence for action, Slim.
I can say confidently that all three of us, at one point in our lives, ran our mouths more than we should have.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I decided after doing that to take my backpack off like I was doing something, and I got hit. I decided to run my mouth and be like, you know what, and take off.
And then turn around.
And let me have it.
But two things happened. We got better at running our mouths, and we learned to fight.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, again, because I think the one thing that
if you can
separates
shame somebody out of a fight, you won.
Well, here's the thing as well too. For folks who played throwback tackle as a kid with football, you different people,
right?
Because I think of that game sometimes.
No.
And if you played anything where we were just out there hitting
can
each other
lose yards.
with no pads, and people were throwing the ball back to people, and everybody's running like.
Just playing on playgrounds back then.
Yeah, it's
it was glass and needles,
football
everything was metal.
My daughter fall off the joint and she hit like a pass. Like it absorbs her. I'm like, yo, wait, the window to get knocked out.
Little ass scooters going down these blacktop parking lots and wrecking and shit.
What is it that red wagon? Everybody had to flip over and make you turn that joint into
the spinning joint. Did you just fly off
the merry-go-round?
All metal.
Where my sister-in-law lives, they got one of these old playgrounds. Apparently, the HOA didn't find it and took it out or not. It's still there. So I take my nephew, I put him on. I say, I'm ready to launch your ass. Spin him up. Go. Let him go.
But yeah, I think it's one of folks just
that shit'll break your jaw.
Folks are not good at interacting. The more that someone is active on like social media and how they like
you
maneuver
create
there,
Tucker Carlson's. That's what you
know that they're not able to navigate any real conversations with folks.
No.
Like if they see you in person, people look at you, and I've heard more and more that like people's like, yo, like I saw somebody and like they was talking wild, and I seen them in person, and they were just like, well, this. and it gets all like a lot of mumble and like
Duncan Hines voice.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, damn, it's like, I don't know if this is just that's a good reference.
That's a lyric.
Hey, right?
It is a lyric. Right?
Yeah, and it's just like, I worry about it. Because again, at a certain, but you know what? Maybe they got it right because I think eventually everybody's gonna move into the digital world.
No, we should.
They're gonna be sitting with their headsets at home. I'm gonna be living out in this nasty ass world.
I said that. I said, well, I said it's a joint that's coming. Man, ADST got a joint. We got a joint coming out, and I say that, man. I was like, the cast is, the talking
like
to person. They Duncan Hines voice. I said now they in person. We want to bring the. They want to bring the. They know they all peace and want to bring the doves like True Goy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
I said they want to bring the doves like True Goy. I said, but I know some killers that'll plug one, plug two, one of them new boys.
Woo! Oh God, Lord. Right, wait, Lord.
Plug one, plug two, one of them new boys.
So I don't know. I'm worried. I'm worried about it. But again, like,
but it's just like, but the thing is, I think it's just any opportunity to teach, and that's what I look at, man. It's like we have to be, when you live for a greater purpose, you get older, you live for a greater purpose, man, and it's just about focusing. And that, to me, it's just a focus, especially with like this year and cementing legacies and doing stuff. It's just a focus that we just got to have, man. And when we're trying to do great things, and you can't get sidetracked, man. That's why I teach my kids. It's like, you got to focus, man. Don't let people get you off your shit, man. Like, focus on your shit, man, and don't let people take you there, because they'll, and because the hate is gonna be there.
No,
the more you accomplish,
and there's more and more distractions.
The more you accomplish, the more the hate's gonna be
Try
there.
doing fake radio. They definitely haters are everywhere.
Yeah, you don't even have a Twitter anymore.
Yeah, right. Ted Cruz kicked me off Twitter. All right, speaking of which, here's what I want to do. Let's let you tell everybody where they can follow you, get in touch. Then I want to take a break, and then we're going to come back with the third half of the show. Do you want to hang out with us for the third half of the show?
Yeah, I got a little time.
All right, let's do that. All right, so where can everybody follow you? How can they get your music and all that stuff?
Yeah, man. Probably the best ways is on IG. I'm at Priest Da Nomad, PriestDanomad. So there, my Bandcamp has all my catalog, priestdanomad.bandcamp.com.
And you can buy the records there. Please buy the records on Bandcamp.
Hit the records there and all that. And I've recently started selling limited edition CDs of my old stuff, so Travels and Mr. Move Something is on there. I had a request by a fan from Seattle, from Washington, about buying physicals, and then when I put it on there, I had hits from Japan and all these people. I was like, wow, okay. So so
next time you come back,
the physicals, man, people
tangible
are really starting.
Stuff, man.
People are starting to get back into these physicals, man. They don't want these downloads as much.
Because I think even the point they own that. Yeah. It's like, and like, because when they say, if they
got that feeling, man. It's nothing like owning and possessing something, right?
And
looking at liner notes and all that.
And George Clinton together, what you going to do when the grid goes down?
Yeah. And that's my thing as well, too.
I want to own that record.
Let's just say, like, we see it all the time with, like, cable and stuff. It's like, such and such, we have a disagreement, and this channel is no longer on there.
Fox Sports.
That could be someone's album on streaming service if you have it.
When that internet thing go down, you realize, I don't own nothing.
It's true.
I don't own that.
We talked about Russia earlier.
I'm just licensing.
If we know anything,
crypto don't work when the power don't work.
It doesn't, especially when these water waves come over. Lord,
learn to grow your vegetables.
But I'm saying again, like this stuff, owning that music. I think the resurgence is really close because people get it. They're like, oh, where's that CD player? Damn it,
records.
You gotta keep some of that money under the mattress mentality, man.
Yeah, hard currency. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Priest's going to hang out with us. We're going to do the fourth half of the show. I didn't even know what part of the show we're in.
With the Hop Slam hour.
The Hop Slam.
That's how we
Go
did
Blue. Throwback to earlier. All right, we're going to take a break.
Desmond Howard,
We'll be right back. You're listening to Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network.
No doubt.
We don't do that no more.
Vintage got the heat.
Let's get back on some hip hop shit. Feels good. Yeah, Priest Da Nomad. Yes. My My man Vintage on the beat. V8 for all y'all social media dudes on how to act. You know what I'm saying? Listen. La-di-da-di, we like the party from the era you talk shit, get them paws on your body. The I-Bex to the chapter 3 might pull a shotty. One punch on Georgia Ave knockouts, probably peel you off the pavement if you don't know etiquette. Now these youngins all on Twitter or some whatever shit. Better get through your thick skull, Slim. We not here for play. You post out of pocket, we can go nuts. Payday, go hard with them. They don't see the guard in them. So my pit bull niggas will make you see the dog in them. We Gen X, the crack era. All we know is horror. Best friend beat my ass, we get the cookout tomorrow. That's on mothers. Strikes we earn them. Neighborhood snitches was the vermin. Right after the pastor's sermon, we back on cue with the hustle. Caking. Y'all Twitter fingers on the keyboard. Pump faking. I'm just saying. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, I know the niggas off top that'll touch it good. The thing spray yes, like sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Y'all see that thing on the way about a pound. Come on, Slim. You know how they get. Listen, I'm a Gemini. On Mondays, I'm a peacemaker. Tuesday afternoons, knocking teeth out. Wednesday, I share my now later. It beats like that. I gave you a few chances to check your attitude, cause you gorilla on paper. Or better yet, the QWERTY keys, digital Hercules. Till the niggas run up on you with them hollow tips. Work with these. Ping, ping, pow. Look at your small intestine now. It was all good just a month ago. Maybe 4 IG posts ago. How you supposed to know that nigga that you tweeted about live about 5 blocks from your baby mama house? It's all over. You invited to a Timberland party on your back molar. Black exposure, been a hella back soldier. So them comments on the gram be highly mistaken. Real niggas tap your shoulders as you sipping the soda. See the tears in your eyes. That's what I thought. Pump faking. Yeah, I'm just saying. Don't do it. Don't do it. Man. I know the niggas off top that'll touch it good. The thing sprayed like Renuzzi. Oh, my man Slam, I'm just saying. Don't do it. Don't do it. I said that thing on the way about a pound. Come on, Slim, you know.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Riff Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
Sweet.
Hanging out with us is Priest Da Nomad.
Yes, sir.
That was his track, Pump Faking.
Pump faking.
All right, now
Don't
we're...
do that.
Are we,
Don't do it.
Unless you're Allen Iverson. Then it's a pretty good
Or
move.
Dwayne Wade was good.
Yeah, he had a great... or Rip Hamilton.
Rip.
Woo. That was... What a move. That's a UConn guy.
Yeah, look at you.
I got mailed to UConn. Well, to Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you about that.
All right, half offer.
All right, now we've come to the part of the show called Do Everything Really Fast.
Yeah.
Because we're going to run out of time, but Tez is going to be really mad if I don't do the bit, so we're going to do it. Yeah. Come to the part of the show called The Rundown, where we tell you about some stuff that's gone out in the news.
There we go.
All right. Most importantly, the Senate finally, after 100 years, unanimously passed an anti-lynching law. Now, you would have thought this was an absolute home run from the very beginning. Wow. But no, because white supremacy is a thing.
White supremacy on a white supremacy.
That's true. So the House passed this like 1,000 times, and very recently, in fact, and then Rand Paul was like, no, I don't like this law. It's too broad. It might get some of my white supremacist friends thrown in jail for lynching people.
And so his set in Kentucky that still's riding around.
He had a specific couple of buddies, that he wanted. Not his neighbor, though. His neighbor, but by Rand Paul's definition, the House passed bill would have made what his neighbor did to him, which is technically thrashed him to within an inch of his life, and thank God for that, would have made that lynching by his estimation. It was not true. It was bullshit. Rand Paul was lying about everything. But he was like, go back and tune up, make it slightly more specific, and then not only will I support it, I'll co-sponsor it. So the 3 co-sponsors of this bill, this is going to be confusing.
I know it is.
Is Tim Scott, that part's not confusing.
Not at all.
Cory Booker, also not confusing. And Rand Paul. The 3 of them co-sponsored the anti-lynching law, which has finally, after 100 years, passed the United States Congress, will be signed by President Joey B.
Good luck on getting that enforced.
Yeah, well,
That's another 100
Well,
years.
look,
that's
but
a
it's-
whole. I mean,
And look here, look.
listen,
The laws
let's
have been
take-
in place. There's a lot of laws been in place. They ain't getting enforced.
Have you been on the show before? That's pretty much our whole bit, right? Isn't
Right,
that?
the whole thing. And look, now, Tim Scott, it's safe for you to be the vice president candidate for Donald Trump.
Right, because they can't hang you.
Fucking idiot.
Well,
Anyways,
I mean-
this fucking guy, man. Exactly.
Well, they can. They're just,
Yeah, exactly.
They were gonna hang Mike Pence.
What we'll do is if we catch them,
Right.
then they
Can
could
I-
get prosecuted
Can I give?
as
I
a
want to
crime.
give a little credit to another television comedian. He's not a radio comedian, so he's not that funny. Jimmy Kimmel. He said something this week that I caught that was actually very, very funny in a way that I don't think he understood how funny that was. I believe it was him who said it.
I hope so. This is yours.
No, he was talking about that Trump had notes where he had like his schedule, and one of the things it said was talk to vice president, and then it had parentheses, blank space, parentheses. And he said that is the most accurate way to describe Mike Pence I've ever seen in my life. And I want to give a shout out to Jimmy Kimmel
That's a
because
good
that
one.
is
That's a fun-
absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yes. If they were going to hang Mike Pence, yeah.
Okay,
All right.
Now to hate crime.
Let's talk about these truck nuts. Some idiots from various parts of the country that aren't the D.C. area decided that they were going to come to the D.C. area to inflict upon us the worst thing we could ever think of, traffic.
And drive around the most racist parts of the area.
They was going to drive
We're
around the
going to drive around
Beltway.
Hagerstown.
Yeah, well, no, they started in Hagerstown.
That's when
and
they
then
drink.
were
That's
gonna-
when they drink their beer. They get all their racist energy up. You got to build the racist. Even though you think racist energy is just like kinetic and always moving through them.
No.
but no, they build it
But
up.
did they not understand that like 270 is the worst way to get to the Beltway?
Did they make it?
I mean, yeah, they made
They
it.
made it. Okay.
So they made it to, their plan was to drive from Hagerstown and then do 2 laps around the Beltway. They get, but specifically they said
In a week?
they were yeah, right. They were like no, but we're gonna do it the slowest possible speed, 55 miles an hour, and all of us went good luck. So they get to the Beltway. They get dispersed in the actual traffic. They can't really make it. And by the end of 1 lap, most of them have given up and gone to Wendy's. They just can't hack DC traffic. And they all went back. They tried to kind of deal with it again. And they regrouped a couple of times. They had Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin and Ted Cruz said
came
that
out.
they were going to meet with them. They didn't meet with them, of course.
Prior
They couldn't get
engagements.
into DC because they couldn't read the signs because, reading is fundamental.
Did you see that black reporter that was like reporting on them, and they were like, "Why are you here?
Why are you
Why
here?"
did they send you?" And
And they had this
all this type
long
of
list
stuff.
of stuff
And
that
they were
was
like
totally
berating him and all that.
Damn.
I'm like, damn, I pray for that type of smoke, Slim. I was like, what? Why? Oh man.
So friend of the
Cut the
show,
camera. Cut the camera.
What?
friend of the show, Eleanor Holmes Norton, who follows us on Twitter. I want to be very clear about that.
how you be a
Loves
friend.
Chip Chat. Yeah. She told them to take off. No, she did. That's Canadian. It says it looks like they understand that blocking traffic doesn't help their cause, whatever their cause is. It seems their cause has dissolved with masks coming down and COVID no longer quite the problem that it has been nationwide because of competent leadership and
This is why, and like I hate to say this, this is why we need to have like the robots just need to be. They need to take over, and this is my
for
reason.
driving the trucks.
Not even, yes, no, that's gonna take jobs away from people, but we're gonna get there no matter what. But here's right. Here's
You
the
the
thing.
tech guy
I
or the
know.
Luddite?
I'm just not messing with these driving.
Fight me.
But again, the loneliness of folks
You know
out
the
there.
Teamsters are representing the Public Defenders Union in Minnesota.
For real.
The public defenders in Minnesota are Teamsters.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
But again, these folks are lonely. That's the only reason that you come out to DC
Right.
and being part of something.
Well,
Well,
and something else.
if you weren't so racist, you might not be so
Right.
lonely.
I was about to say
We
they're
say
not
this on the
just they're
show
not just lonely.
around
It's white
the
privilege
country. Trying to open
politics.
yourself
It's
up to
white
other
privilege.
people.
We have friends. You know what? Instead of you be like, I don't have friends and I got to go down this dark rabbit hole. Oh my God, the government's taking babies. Not that rabbit hole.
That's lot lizards.
That sound like a Ron
That's-
Jeremy rabbit
That is
hole.
exactly what that sounds
They
like.
was doing it at that Hagerstown Speedway.
Oh my Lord.
Don'ts.
Damn.
With the robots, right?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, again, these folks are lonely. They're looking for a sense of belonging because that's what all these things are about. They don't know what they're fighting for. They don't know
all that stuff.
All that shit is about being part of a group. And like, right, these are just different big gangs
Start
lonely ass people.
Pick you a football team and find other people that like that football team.
They can't watch football team because it says end racism in the end zone.
No, because they got too many kneelers.
Yeah, that too.
That's the kneelers. That's the word they're very mad about. Kneelers.
Kneelers. The kneelers. Yeah. That's exactly the word.
Starts at N. All right.
And then they go who?
All right. Now we've come to a segment called Don't Say Florida. Now, Florida has officially finally passed a law, and I'm assuming Ron DeSantis signed it, assuming he can sign his name. He did go to Harvard and Yale, by the way, even though he pretends that he doesn't know how to read.
Yeah. Or that he doesn't know the law.
Yeah, that's true. That says that they can't teach children that things other than heteronormative lifestyles exist. And the way that they wrote this, of course, is that teaching anything that makes children uncomfortable is illegal, which is fine. Heteronormativity makes me uncomfortable.
That's why they told McGraw-Hill told me that slaves was happy immigrants.
Juneteenth makes me uncomfortable. I'd like to sue about that. I mean, like, what are we talking about? That's what they're talking about here, right?
Yeah.
You can drive a truck through that loophole. The, quote, most contentious piece of the Don't Say Gay bill states that classroom instruction surrounding sexual orientation and gender identity is banned outright for students in kindergarten through third grade while prohibiting lessons of those from other grades unless they are, quote, age appropriate or developmentally appropriate. However, telling everybody that there's a mother and a father and this is what the family looks like, that definitely fits in the this is sexual orientation, gender identity. You have hamstrung yourselves.
Sesame Street don't even do that shit.
No. Who the fuck cares?
Yo, what the fuck?
This is on the long list of shit that doesn't affect you. Leave it the fuck alone.
I think That's
not what white supremacy does. They don't leave you alone.
No, of course not.
They don't let you just have your own thing and just that's the problem. It's like, we can't let you just
I heard him say
no.
Feminism is the problem in America and it's gone too far.
No, Tulsa taught you that.
Right.
Tulsa taught you that.
They won't have you pockets.
Wait, say that, Les?
Women can't have pockets in the front of their pants because of the patriarchy, and we're talking about feminism has gone too far.
What?
Right. Okay, in the second story of Don't Say Florida, because it gets worse.
Yeah, keep going.
Florida's controversial, and I'm going to put this in heavy air quotes, Surgeon General, because he doesn't have a medical license. His name is Joe Ladapo.
This guy.
He was speaking at a roundtable Monday with Ron DeSantis and medical professionals.
If you can see DeSantis, if you're watching, it's just the look he's overlooking him.
Much of the CDC's recommendation, he said that children should not get the vaccine and that it will probably kill them. And, oh, by the way, aliens may give you demon sperm. Because he said all of those things in public in front of people.
Yeah, that was the other chick too. There's a whole group of them.
That's his best friend.
Yeah, there's a whole group of them.
Yes,
yeah.
But he's the actual Surgeon General of the state of Florida.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where
on purpose.
Yes.
Because it just goes back to that earlier point with the truckers.
Band-Aids.
With the truckers, and like they know the way that you can kind of control folks and how they can wield power, and this is how they're doing it. And it's like when you look at them like, all right, even if you had, if you had general apprehensions of giving your kid a new vaccine,
which is fair.
That's fair. No one's having that. But when you come out here as the Surgeon General spewing just nonsense.
It's a 2-for-1 too, because it's he's an idiot and he's black. So
right.
It's like,
yeah.
So it's like,
So like that's the real thing that we're talking about.
It's like
the
perfect.
white supremacists.
It's perfect for Florida. I'm like they're like, see those when.
This is what happens when we let these people be Surgeon General.
Hey, right, and it's just gonna play into it, and soon they're saying don't let him run for anything, and like you can easily
so they
go
give
back
him the talking points. He parrots the talking points because he's obviously a shill and he's for hire or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then when it goes bad and kills all the children, they go, it's the black guy that did it.
Yeah.
Right, of course.
And I think what we don't really always respect so much
the
is that
obvious circular reasoning of white supremacy.
That Florida is usually they're telling you what's about to happen in America
right before it happens.
Maybe 20 years ahead of time.
Nah, not that fast.
Well, no, I think either
shit, there's a hurricane. Whoomp. That's how Florida works.
Fair.
Yeah.
But I just think sometimes with
get
the
bigger
politics,
hurricanes.
with the politics and how the politics move, Florida is usually that they're the state, and even South Florida specifically, I think as well, is that whatever happens.
No, it's that panhandle.
Well, the panhandle, yes, but
That's where the worst of the worst happens. That's where the Florida man shit happens.
Miami-Dade is a wild place.
No, that's true.
Like just the politics and like how that's run, like how that's run.
South Florida with money.
But that's the new tech hub.
See, I don't know why my people go there to die.
Well,
it sounds like a bad place. I've been there. I've been to Miami a lot of times. It's hot. It's miserable. We're desert people. We don't do well in the humidity. It's fucking miserable.
Look.
I was in Miami in August one time. That's a terrible idea. I don't know why. No, I didn't choose that. But it's not a bad, terrible idea.
Yes.
Oh, there's a breeze. Oh, great.
It's not a breeze.
97 degrees. It doesn't matter about
cool
the
off my
goddamn
blisters.
breeze. Exactly. Yeah, right.
And also,
you know why we escaped Egypt?
Yeah.
Humidity.
That's right. They just don't think about the children, whether on both fronts of this is like.
Well, Florida is on record trying to kill children at a tremendous clip.
They killed enough people already.
Yeah, but whether they're state execution, whether it's the elder
COVID
abuse,
response,
whether it's the COVID response, whether it's the intentional misinformation when it comes to health stuff. I mean, Florida loves to kill children. That's just what Florida does. It's why Disneyland is here. All right. Sorry, Disney World. Let's talk about the wall. Trump built a wall. Build the wall.
Build the wall.
Right? Marjorie and Lauren yelled at us to build the wall. It turns out that the wall that Trump built has been breached more than 3,000 times.
Keep doing it.
And with like a very, very simple method. They're just sawing through the bottom of it with a battery-powered sawzall, which literally anybody can get from Harbor Freight for $50.
I mean, that's the same way you enter any of these Trump Towers or plazas.
Yes. So it turns out if you just saw the bottom of these bollards off, they swing like a doggy door, and you can just kind of walk right through it. It's happened more than 3,000 times, which if you math it out since the time that the wall was built, it's like 30 times a day since he's done that.
They just made a door.
He made a door.
Cookouts over here.
There was not already a door. It was a desert. But now people are like, well, I guess I'm going to cross there.
Yeah, there's cookouts over here.
Well,
man.
they built roads to the wall so that they could maintain the wall, which means that, of course, if you can get through the wall, you can get to the road.
And there you go. Look, again, there's an issue. We're an aging society. Bring everyone here now.
We're out of people.
Yes.
Our birth rate is basically negative.
Don't let them fool you. There's not enough people in this country right now.
That's right. Our unemployment rate is below 4. We're creating more jobs than we have people. That is an absolute truth. And here comes the American exceptionalism. Fuck y'all low-rent countries. Send us your people. Please come here. Bring food. But please come here. We need you. And we will pay you better than they will. Not what you deserve, of course.
No, we don't do that.
But
okay, don't get it all crazy.
But we will pay you slightly better.
Don't get crazy.
Marginally.
Again, it's a better prison.
Yeah, well, the Mexicans are having trouble making tortillas now because Ukraine doesn't send them corn. That's how the global economy works. All right,
it's just about to get ugly.
Shit is wild. All right, speaking of which, we found the voter fraud. Remember that guy, Dan Patrick? Remember Dan Patrick?
Not that Dan Patrick.
No, not the one on ESPN. The good one.
He hasn't been on ESPN for
whatever. NBC. Not the good one. The one that's lieutenant governor of Texas.
Oh.
He was going to pay everybody $250,000 for every case of voter fraud he found.
Yeah.
Well, the good folks at the New Yorker and the Washington Post found 2 good cases. It's Mark and Deborah Meadows.
Wow.
Mark and Deborah Meadows. Mark Meadows, who was most recently, his job was Trump's chief of staff, and his wife, Deborah. Wow. Yeah, they voted from addresses that they didn't live at like 3 or 4 times each.
Wow.
And from places that they sold and in states they didn't live in, and it's all totally on public record.
I love he lives on McConnell Road.
Nice.
Yes, very evident, and that's, on McConnell Road. Of course he does.
Of course he does, right? It's of course where he lives.
Nice.
Between Louisville and Franklin. All right. So this is a long story. They voted illegally so many times it took up 3 pages of our script. But I will say here's the big quote. Meadows has, he was working for the federal government. He's working, in the White House. He has a reasonable excuse for why he wasn't, in all these places at the same time. Deborah Meadows appears to have voted twice under suspicious circumstances. First in the runoff primary from the address of a home that had been sold 3 months earlier, and she voted for the lady who lost to Madison Cawthorn, by the way, who took Mark Meadows' seat.
Oh, wow.
He rolled right into it.
Stop. Yo, we did this twice now.
Yeah, that's right. And then by signing a form, quote, under penalty of perjury from her primary residence as a mobile home in the mountains where she did not live. Yeah.
Of course, the people who are telling you that voter fraud is happening is the ones who are doing it. That's just how it works. That's it. That's how it is.
Speaking of which, the first trial of the January 6th Capitol breach ended in the guilty verdict on 5 counts.
Again, no one likes to see white people fighting white people. Again, and there was a lot of white people getting smacked up in the head as Capitol Police.
Guy Rafit was guilty of 5 felonies: obstruction of official proceedings, interfering with police in a riot, transporting a firearm for that purpose, armed trespassing, and witness tampering, which he got because he threatened his kid
who turned him in. Yes.
Nice.
True patriots involved in legitimate political discourse.
That is what it is.
RNC.
That is what it is.
That is true. The Republican National
RNC.
Committee,
That's the beautiful thing about
the actual Republican National Committee says that is legitimate political discourse.
But to me, this ain't like America's went through places where this has happened before. Like, there's been time.
Yeah, but we overthrow those places and install democracy.
I'm talking about here.
Oh,
yes.
It's called Reconstruction.
Reconstruction is one of them. Like, again, the union battles of the workers.
The thing that's crazy about all this stuff is that, I say this all the time. White supremacy eats its own. It eats its own because it's like
every time.
It's like when the rest of us are just going about our lives doing legitimate shit, and we're just doing what we're supposed to do. These motherfuckers are the ones that are not doing what they're making laws to catch them. they're doing stuff
but until
to catch them. It doesn't get enforced. It doesn't get enforced. Right. It doesn't get enforced. But the thing is that they're making it public. So the thing is
now the spotlight is shining on them.
You're making it public and you're doing this, and you're only catching your own because you're the ones who made it up and you're doing it. It's funny.
Yeah.
The first thing Washington did as president was put down an insurrection, like the Whiskey Rebellion. It was like 5 minutes after he was sworn in.
You can't. It's one.
We need our guns in case the government is tyrannical.
Jesus Christ! It's just a wild place that we're in. It's a wild place.
If Huey Newton's got a gun, so it's a wholly different story. Yeah.
I mean, look. Reagan came out. He was like, "Look here, y'all. This is insane."
If you want gun reform, you already know what it is.
Can I quote this is like an adjunct Public Enemy line, but there's in the 2020 remix of Fight the Power, there's a "You love Black Panther but not Fred Hampton." Mm-hmm. And that line right there is like very, very definitely the thing. Are we not? Okay. Good. Let's move on. Sports.
Right.
I don't have the Scott Simon version of it. Sports.
I know, right?
Okay.
We need a whistle.
I printed this before. This is out of date.
Yeah, we got changes in the ML. Baseball's back.
We're gonna have baseball. Thank God. I can have something to use to ignore my family in the summer. No, I'm kidding. My kids love baseball. What's up with baseball, Tez?
Yeah, baseball's back. And let's start because a lot of folks are like, well, these baseball players are just keeping the game from us.
These millionaires
on there. And I think, again, because people's broke out here, and that understandable. I get that, but it doesn't mean that you got to start pocket watching and not realizing that this is a labor issue with millionaires and billionaires.
That's true.
And again, I heard a great quote.
3 orders of magnitude.
Right, and I heard a great quote. It was like, if you took the 1,500 baseball players out, right? You took them away and put them with like the next best. Game's not as good.
No.
If you took out how many owners? 30, what is it, 30? No, 30?
There's 30.
30, yeah. You take
30
the 30
owners.
Take the 30 owners out, replace them anyway. Hell, I'll take you a bad one that my boy Travis, I've been seeing online, has been posting, is we want Biden to go ahead and we want them to take over socialism, y'all. We want the government to take over baseball.
Yeah.
Snatch it away from the owners. snatching away from
Let's
the
have
owners.
parity in baseball.
Exactly.
Technically, they can do that.
They
can do
Because
that.
they have the antitrust
Yes.
exemption. That's
Yes.
exactly right. They
They can.
And as a fan of a team that is abysmal, I'm going to go on record. This is the first time me and Pittsburgh fans have ever agreed on anything because I hate the fucking Pens and the Caps and Pens is not friends. But
Caps and Pens is not friends.
Not friends.
Put that on our shirt.
that's true. It goes on the Old Bay
On
can.
the Old Bay can. On the Old
But the O's and Pirates are friends in regards to the fact that we are awful. We are bad at baseball. We should probably be in like AA, I think. Is really where we're at.
Sadly, we've been treated like a AAA, AA team because pretty much if you look out the
Crop dusters.
we're better than crop dusters, but just a little. But the thing is like because based off of the way the financial structure is, it's like, and especially in the last 20 years,
We have no capacity to pay our kids. We have no capacity to develop talent.
That and on top of that, you see the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Dodgers
don't have
now.
to share anything.
And
That's why you're trying to steal our Nationals money.
in addition to the national distribution of their TV games. In addition to the national TV deal, they have their own local ones, which makes them profitable money. And surprisingly enough, they keep making money, so that's why they keep getting all the top talent away
Profitable
from.
regardless of performance.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
We have no capacity.
Miami has a good TV deal. Like you can get a good because again, live sports is the last thing that people are going to tune in for.
I pay for TV for live sports.
That's what you pay for TV for.
I literally don't watch anything else.
And again, why are these people say, well, why are these baseball the millionaires and this that? Again, that Apple deal that just came out, we're gonna have Friday night baseball. The baseball players like, wait, hold the fuck up, yo. And they've gotten jerked on the last 2 deals.
Right.
Yeah, they've gotten
They're bad.
Right,
They're
the
really,
unions
really
got
bad.
deals.
Yeah,
Three deals,
Yeah.
if we're being honest on there, right? So again, this is a labor issue. Again, I'm happy that baseball's coming back. I'm also happy some of the changes. I think Rookie of the Year goes ahead. And I think, again, for arbitration, there's a change in that, right?
They'll
Raised
get a
the
base
league minimum by nearly 50%.
Yeah.
They came up with this pool so that the really all-star, like, people don't know this. If you're the absolute best Rookie of the Year, you're still on a league minimum contract.
Right.
And they might keep you in the minors. They might keep you in the minors.
That got fixed too.
That did get fixed as
That
well
got
too,
fixed
to make sure.
because teams would keep players in the minors until it was financially successful for them, not until it was helping them win games.
And this is what I tell people about sports teams. A lot of people think, well, my team's here and they want to win.
No, they don't.
These
They wanna
billionaires
make
don't
money.
care
They
about
don't care
winning.
about winning, except for maybe the Yankees.
Maybe the Yankees, maybe ain't even that, but like these billionaires don't really care about winning. They care, like even Jeter.
Do you understand that Bryce Harper made $500,000 for the first 3 years of his contract? Do you understand that Steven Strasburg made $500,000 for the first 3 years of his contract? He didn't get
in
paid.
a sport that does not have a cap?
Right.
That's insane. That is insane because
It's out
with
of
value,
control.
when it just comes to value, because I say that and people hate people say they hate
What
this.
they
LeBron
contributed
James
to the
doesn't get
market?
paid what he gets paid nowhere near
Nothing close.
Near he should get
Nothing
$500 million.
Yes.
$500 million.
Every
Maybe
economist
I'm
on
still
the
being
planet is
cheap.
mad at you for being cheap. That's
Exactly,
right.
I'm being
That's true.
cheap on that, right?
That's right.
I also, and one day we're going to talk
Tez
about.
won a Nobel in economics. But
No,
he's
I
very
didn't.
quiet about
I
it.
just listened to Marketplace.
That's true.
Shout
Shout out Kai Rizzo.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
He loves this show.
I'd love to have him on the show.
No, he's going to be on the show. I got him next week.
All right, awesome.
No,
So he's on the West Coast as well, too, so he can get on
he is,
here.
he is.
Perfect. But, yeah, no, this is a huge story.
Cradling, Brian. Cradling.
I think, again, baseball is back. I'm excited for it. I'm more so excited that the baseball players seem to have gotten something. And also,
They had to compromise on some rule changes, which I think all,
DH.
from my perspective,
Boo
are all
on the
good.
DH. I'm not a fan of
We're
that.
going to get the DH across both leagues, which we did it in the COVID times.
COVID, yeah.
It seems fine. Obviously,
I'm not a
Ohtani
fan of
changed
it.
everything, and now all the National League teams are like, oh, shit, we can get a pitcher that can hit? Yeah, definitely we want to get that. And go ahead and make him a DH for the other 4 games that he's not playing.
baseball still has a huge problem, though, is because, right, I love baseball, whatever, that's fine. And the Nationals being here over the last decade, obviously, I'm going to love it a different
Expos.
way. Well, yes, right.
Yeah.
But I think baseball's problem is they haven't found a way to make stars yet. And like
No, that's this. I disagree. The problem is, hold on. The problem is they have stars.
They have them.
They have them.
Yeah.
It is about promotion.
That's what I'm saying. Baseball.
Yeah.
Not when I say the ML, I'm just saying the MLB.
Yeah.
Like they have tons of stars,
Right.
But they don't market them the right way. And they got into gambling first. They got into streaming
Right.
first. They've been ahead in sports. But they just don't. They don't. The marketing of it is
the
bad,
fact that
and that's a
Vladdy
problem.
Guerrero is not like a household name. Like that guy has absolute nationwide stardom written all over him 20 years
But here's,
ago.
sadly,
He looks like a rock
But
star.
here's the other sad aspect of it, and I'm surprised you haven't fully mentioned it. Is about the whole essence of racism within the league. So because of the fact that like most of these players are international, some of them
the Afro-Latin stars are the best.
Yeah, that's the
and
thing.
Of course we don't want to make them
that's,
stars.
Right, and that's the sad part.
Latin? Such a thing?
So,
believe it or not.
But as we move on with sports, there's
Sosa is my color now. I don't know.
Sammy Soda.
That's another show.
That's another show.
We had that. It was on the Hangout podcast.
That's black Cubans on the sugar plantation.
That's true. Well,
those white Cubans are a little
so
different.
you get that sweeter sugar. I don't know how that. I use brown sugar for my barbecue. All right, go ahead. That's the end
Get
of the
us
show.
out of here, damn it!
Get
us out of here.
Come to the end of the show. We want to say thank you so much,
Yes,
Priest. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you
Thanks for having me, man. That was a ball.
Where can everybody find you on the social medias and all that
Yeah,
stuff?
man. At Priest Da Nomad on IG, at Priest D on Twitter, priestdanomad.bandcamp.com. Go get that catalog, man.
Yeah, we're going to send it out. We'll post a bunch of links. We'll tag you and all this
doubt.
stuff. All these clips and things. All right, we want to say thanks to our radio partners, Stitcher, Google, Joe Rogan, Truth Social. Wow. I got on. No,
You
I
got an
didn't.
account?
No, I didn't.
No,
But
no,
I'm
that
going
doesn't
to
work.
get it. People are counting like, what account number are you? I'm like, I'm 403 or whatever. Yeah. No, I'm getting on. I'm definitely getting on. Thanks to NOTN for keeping us on for another week or
Twice a week,
as far
twice a
as we
week.
know. Thanks to our home on the interwebs, coplaymedia.com, and thanks as always to our family here at Rip Radio for making it sound as smooth as Volodymyr Zelensky in his bunker. All right, where can that's debatable. All right, where can everybody find you on the socials? And
You can find me on Twitter at DC Cortez, on Instagram at Catch'emCordy.
All right, you can find me on Twitter and the show on Twitter at ChipChatRR since Ted Cruz took away my other Twitter. And you can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Rip Chip Chat. And you can find us, of course, every Thursday night here on Rip Radio at 9:30. I'm Chip. That says that's Priest. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network.
Sweeps!
Peace.